we are like taking leaps and bounds in regards to self-reflection. Whereas like, you know, the past generations, they could read books, they could listen to what's on the radio. Now we're able to siphon en masse shitloads of data and come to conclusions about ourselves in like mathematical ways, and figure out from there what's going to be next, what is going to be our next mathematical scientific breakthrough, you know?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I saw like a post, which I mean, this whole story, the anecdote in and of itself is like evidence of like what you just talked about. But like, I saw a post that, you know, said something that was to the tune of like, you're miserable because you're basically too self-aware. Yeah. It's kind of like what it said, where it's just like you're the source of your own misery because like you're being too self-critical and too analytical, and you're reading too much into things. Like sometimes things just don't have meaning. And I love that, because I think that like the extent to which we are, like there are some of us that I think are, well, and it's not even, I wouldn't even say it's self, like I think we could probably, I would categorize this almost as like the optimization generation, right? Where we're trying to like, we're either optimizing ourselves or we're optimizing our work, which is kind of optimizing ourselves, or we're optimizing our experiences with people, or we're optimizing our consumption, right? It's like, how can we like get more, faster, better,
which,
you know, and synthesize
which technically
it, you know,
we kind
faster.
of like coalesce into what we perceive as ourself, like our relationships, our work, or, you know.
Exactly, but I think that there is going to be a point when I think we're kind of hitting it. Like at least I feel like I've hit the not breaking point, but maybe like just like temporary ceiling of like, I feel like I've consumed so much, read so much, been so self-aware. I was actually talking to Gabe about this a couple weeks ago, where I feel like I actually don't want to do any self-reflection anymore. I don't want to do any more introspection. I don't want to read any more self-help blogs. I don't want to bookmark anything else. I don't want to watch anything else.
I don't want to make myself better.
I've gotten to a point.
Like,
no, because it feels like
I'm never enough.
It's not actually exactly. And it's like, it feels like I'm never going to be enough. I'm never going to be able to consume enough, because the target is always going to be moving. But then it's also like, to what end?
Yeah, see, that's part of like what is broken about capitalism right now.
Yeah. This
whole idea of like this continuous growth is just growth on growth on growth without any like tangible, you know, measures of we have gotten there.
Right.
Like, you know, we've accrued so much wealth with this. We are the U.S. is the wealthiest. I can't say we right now because I'm not in the fucking States, unfortunately. Yeah.
It's okay. We're all not even rich. We just have a fuck ton of debt that makes us look rich.
Yeah. Like
wealth is so subjective.
They've accrued so much fucking, you know, wealth, but at the same time, like so many fucking people in the States are starving, and like so many people are homeless and can't afford a fucking $300 medical bill.
Right. It's like, so it's again, it's like what end, you know, it's like, for example, like when we think about like introspection and like self-awareness, right? Like I know the lingo, the jargon, the buzzwords, right? Like the attachment styles, like, you know, I've done so much fucking psychoanalysis that like, but then at the same time, so like I know when I am retreating, or like when I'm hermiting, or when I'm, you know, reacting, like I'm very self-aware. So like, I know when I'm doing things. But
on that note, real fast,
that awareness,
on that note, real fast, I've been like way hyper conscious about this for the past half hour, because my video is on like a slight delay. I notice how often I'm blinking, and it's bothering me. Sorry to distract. All right, go on.
That's good. No, be aware. But it's like it's like I can be super self-aware, but honestly, I feel like it just makes me more insecure, and I feel like I become hyper insecure in social settings and end up just retreating more, and then get into the spiral where I'm like, I live alone, and I like, so like last night I left, you know, a group hang because I got really aware of how my body was reacting to like, you know, how uncomfortable I was. So it's like, I'm just gonna go back to like my safe place because I'm so aware. Really? Yeah. And then it's like, okay, cool. So then what? Like, I'm so self-aware that I'm going to be alone, and then I'm going to be aware that I'm alone, and then I'm going to feel miserable, but then I'm going to feel like I don't want to be around people as like a dependency because I don't want to crutch because I'm codependent. Like, what kind of fucking spiral? But like, and the same thing with social media, going back to like our kind of social media conversation. Like, I you know, have very mixed feelings on social media, and like, would used to I optimize because I blame I had one of my first internships in college. I was like, it was the early days of social media marketing, and I was like the first social media marketing intern at this like startup marketing firm in Nashville. And this was back when like it was just like, oh, can you just like throw some posts on Facebook or like, you know, monitor or blah 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 for these like marketing, like homegrown national marketing campaigns that are like barbecue contests and shit. But I like studied marketing, like digital marketing tactics and social media marketing tactics, and learned about, you know, all the different like strategies and techniques and analytics and things like that. And then I subconsciously started applying it to my own social media, right? Like, how do I optimize, you know, my engagement? Like, am I posting at the right time? Like, what are my conversion rates? Like, do I have really great engagement? Like, I'm posting like, you know, my follower account is this, but my like count is this. Well, it's because I'm posting at this time, and maybe because I use this filter and people really actually like these kinds of photos. And then it's like, that has stuck with me for years. Literally, that was
it's like a weird like marketing PTSD. Totally. And like, I will not ever be able to engage with social media from a personal capacity and not think about optimization. And that fucking sucks. Because like, we'll just like shit post. Literally will be like, fuck, no one liked it. And then I become, because I'm so self-aware and I'm aware of like my relational traumas and my fears of being alone, it's like every fucking human is actually low-key afraid of, you know, dying alone, that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm shit posting, or like I'm gassing myself up because I feel really insecure today, so I want to post a really pretty picture of myself, but oh my god, people are gonna think I'm insecure and I'm looking for clickbait, and I want people to think I'm really pretty, and I don't want people to think I'm vain, so I'm gonna delete it. But then I already posted it and then I delete it and people are gonna think like, and I fucking spiral. And I'm like, ignorance is bliss. And I would return to ignorance, but I feel like I cannot. I would say
like I can.
Over this past like decade, that has been one of like the most like recurring mantras to me. The concept of ignorance is bliss. I don't know where it started, but like it just becomes more and more relevant as the years have gone on in my mind.
I think I want to revert to it, but it's like fucking Eve eating the fruit. I'm like, god damn it. Like, I bit the apple, and I should not have bit the apple because I don't want to be aware, actually.
Fuck your apples.
I want to go back. Literally, fuck your apple. Like, Eve, I'm glad that you wanted wisdom, but guess what? Wisdom is not all that it panned out to
No,
be.
she didn't want shit. It was Adam. Adam bit it because he's like, I want that. Hey, babe, check.
But she told him to do it.
No, she didn't. It was a snake. Oh, no, technically.
But I thought
no.
Snake tempted her.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
She did it. That's the whole thing. That's why women are bad, right? Because we made them do it. Whatever the fuck. Stupid shit. You know, sexist Christianity. That's the next podcast. Stay tuned for part 2 there and talking about religion.
Well, welcome to our Mochi podcast, where feel free to spiral out.